Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about a very powerful anxiety story of mine, a time of panic that I had. I really want to dissect that panic episode where I was in this workshop and I suffered from this panic attack and I ended up leaving the building. I really want to dissect it now that I've gotten to this place in my life, overcoming my anxiety disorder. And I hope that by dissecting it, it'll help you to be more aware of the situations that you may experience now that COVID's lifting. You're going out in public, you're going to the supermarket, you're going to the movies, you're going to the doctors, you're going to work even, and you're feeling a little bit more anxious than usual. And how do you handle situations that make you feel anxious and even result in panic? So I really want to talk about techniques and tools to help you in those times of panic. This is a channel not for coping, not for coping with medications and Netflix and alcohol and weed and none of that stuff. This is a channel where you gain the knowledge and the tools and strategies to overcome anxiety naturally and to strengthen your mind so that not only do you handle the challenges that you face now appropriately, but the future challenges that will inevitably come your way. How do you get to that point in your life of awareness, of that awakening? So that's what my channel is all about. Now, before I talk about this panic situation that happened to me, I want to talk about why anxiety is so common nowadays. I think it's 1 in 2 people suffer from anxiety at some point in their life. It could be everybody. That's how common anxiety is. First of all, we live in an age that is so comfortable. It's more comfortable now than in any other time in human history. So why is everyone suffering so much now? We got Netflix, we got food accessible in our cupboards, everything is just there. Why is everything uneasy? Why are people so impulsive? Why are people suffering from anxiety? Well, first of all, there's many reasons. First of all, I want to talk about consumerism, materialism, why that is impacting people's mental health. First of all, going on Netflix all the time, going on YouTube all the time, going on social media all the time, it's distracting you from your own mind. What's really going on up here? People are not comfortable in their own skin. People are disconnecting from themselves all the time. Going on Netflix for hours a day, going on social media, looking at these posts of people living these glamorous lifestyles, looking at these posts of people that you want to be, you want to emanate, that you want to look like, causing a lot of depression. Also, advertisements are bombarding you on all these devices from industries that are targeting your impulsivity. These industries are targeting your unconsciousness. That's what they're doing. Big food companies, these social media companies, anything. All the consumeristic companies in the mall, right? All of those companies are trying to get you to buy their products all the time. You can't even sit in your own bedroom without being bombarded by advertisements on your phone. And not only that, but big food companies are using the tactics of the tobacco companies to get you to consume their products. Most of the products you find in Walmart contain 20 plus ingredients. If you look at those ingredients, they contain sugar, they contain vegetable oils, which are so harmful for your health. They contain sugar, whey, gluten, lots of stuff that impact your mental health. And most of evolution, we've been consuming products. We've been consuming, not products, but we've been consuming foods that contain 1 or maybe 2 ingredients. That's it. So we are eating foods that are causing us to gain a lot of weight, to gain a lot of disease, to gain a lot of mental illnesses, and the mental illnesses keep us consumeristic, keep us impulsive, and the big pharmaceutical companies, they want us to eat these foods. They want us to go to McDonald's at 2 a.m. They want us to go get those chips, get that pop. They want us to do that. They want us to get sick because they're making big money from our illnesses. Big Pharma doesn't want diets like the ketogenic diet, like the carnivore diet. They don't like those diets because people are getting healthy. People are lessening and reversing their diabetes because of these diets. And well, they don't like that. They're not making as much money as they could be, right? And so I want to talk about now this panic episode that I had in my past that I want to dissect it because I feel like it'll help you now that COVID's lifting and we're going outside there in the outside world. Health anxiety sufferers can be now more sensitive because they've spent so much time in their safe zone at home. Now that everyone's going out in public, it can be quite daunting. They're not in their safe zone anymore. They're out in public doing whatever it is. You may be going to work, going to the grocery store, and you feel anxiety, feel really sensitive. And what can you do about it? Well, when I attended this workshop, it was downtown. I took the train there. And it was like a classroom-like setting. I got there were like 7 rows of chairs. I sit down in the first row, and the instructor comes in, starts talking. And I took this workshop because I believed it wasn't necessary. I just wanted to expand my knowledge on the lighting equipment that I wanted to learn more about for my job in the film industry, being an electrician at the time. So I was sitting there. I thought this was a good idea. I'm here at this workshop. I didn't have to come. It was just a random workshop to expand your knowledge, maybe even meet some people. The film industry is mostly about connections. So I sat there with my binder, notebook, and then a few minutes into the presentation, I got strange feelings. I started to look internally. Shallow depth of field, rapid heart beating, shallow breathing, not getting enough air. Also, the nausea, and that's what got me the most. And before panic gets worse, you get the words that come into your mind of, oh no, right? The pounding of the red button, the alarms go off, the oh no, right? Oh no, this is not good. I could die. I could faint. I could throw up. Oh no. And now everything in my external world has become irrelevant. Presentation, I can't hear a word that guy was saying anymore. I'm internal, looking around, wondering what if people think I'm acting strange? What if I get up because I'm going to faint, and the guy presenting thinks that I am not interested in what he's saying, and that I don't want that to happen. I don't want other people to think I'm not interested in what's going on. I don't want to be the one to get up and leave so early on into the presentation, because I care about what other people think to such a high degree, and a lot of anxiety sufferers do. They're afraid of that social judgment that comes along with the fear of their own mortality. And so I was sitting there, but then it came to a point where I was like, I have to get up, I have to get out of here, I got to go to the washroom. What if I do throw up? I feel sick right now. So I actually get up, I walk out of there, I go into the bathroom. I left my notebook on my seat. I'm in the bathroom, I'm pacing back and forth. What am I gonna do? I feel sick. How am I gonna walk back in there? I left my book in there. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I spent 10 minutes in there, and I'm like, each minute I spend in here is a minute away from the presentation. He might think I don't like what's going on. He might think I think he's boring. And then I decide, you know what, I have to leave. I have to get out of here. So I walk back in. I pretend I'm on my phone. I pretend I'm on my phone because I care what he thinks. I want him to think that I have something important to do and that I can't stick around, right? So I'm trying to pull out some tactics to fake it out of there. I grab my notebook, I leave the building, and as I walk out, my shoulders are down, my head is down. I feel defeated, I feel depressed, I feel confused, bewildered. And I didn't know I had anxiety. I knew that I have a lot of stuff going on. Like, I felt at the time that I'm just stressed out of my mind. I can't be here. But I didn't really know what was going on internally, why I was feeling the way I was feeling, why I couldn't get a grip over my reality, the situations that I were in, why I can't calm down. I did not understand anything of that. And so looking back, I see that first of all, I left the environment, which you don't do. If you're suffering from anxiety, if you're suffering from panic, it's important to stay in the environment. Why? Well, the amygdala works by associations, right? If you leave the environment, the amygdala is now associating that environment as a predatory animal, as a threat to your life. It's making a connection. Environments like this, the one Brad ran away from, is dangerous, and all other environments that are like that environment are dangerous as well. So now it's not only that situation that is making me fearful at this point, it's all other situations that resemble that situation. So let's go back to the beginning. Now, when I first felt those strange sensations and I reacted to them with such high emotion, it brought me back to a situation that happened to me when I was 10 years old. When I was sitting on the couch watching a movie with my family, I felt those strange sensations. I felt the shallow depth of field, the shallow breathing, the rapid heart beating, the nausea, all of that. I felt that, reacted to it, ran out, and was on the stairs panicking, and my parents didn't know what was happening to me. But that was my first panic attack. Now, sitting in that workshop, the sensations come back, and the amygdala linked the sensations to, oh yeah, remember what happened when you were 12 or 10? Remember that situation when you were watching the movie? So I was reliving the reaction, the same reaction I had when I was 10. Does that make sense? So I was sitting there, felt the sensations, reacted to the sensations because that reaction was already ingrained when I was 10 years old. It was there. Oh my God, what's going on? The uncertainty, the unknown pops up, the dragon pops up. I don't know what's going on. I leave. And then that association between the environment and then me leaving is now enhanced even more. The sensation feelings are enhanced even more. And I left. And you don't leave because now, by leaving, the dragon grows, and the likelihood of you going back there lessens to such a great degree. And now you're shrinking your world down smaller and smaller and smaller. So that's the flooding technique. The flooding technique is when you are in an environment, in a situation that is making you feel anxious, you stay there until your anxiety lessens from like an 8, 9, 10 to a 4 or 5. Because when you stay, what is happening is the amygdala needs to make the association of environment equals safety. You won't die in that particular situation. So when you're doing yoga or when you start to stretch for the first time in years. You're on the mat, you're stretching, it's painful. You're stretching your knees, you're stretching your arms, you're trying to touch your toes, it's painful. But what happens when you stretch every day and when you embrace that pain, that uncomfortable feeling? What happens? Well, you get closer to your toes. You get closer and closer. And the more you're in that pain, the more you increase your flexibility. That's what happens in your mind. The more you place yourself in painful situations, the more flexibility you have. So when you overcome one situation that makes you anxious, all other situations that are like that situation are going to improve. You are going to be braver in all those other situations that resemble the situation that makes you anxious now. So it bleeds out into your life. You are literally strengthening your mind. You are increasing your mind's flexibility. You are stimulating new neuronal pathways in your mind, expanding yourself. And that's the flooding technique, really powerful. You can also accomplish this flexibility, this strengthening, with systematic desensitization. That's gradual exposure to things that make you feel anxious. So you are afraid of needles like I used to be. So what would you do systematically? Well, first of all, sit with yourself and imagine yourself getting the needle until you become bored of it. You're really training your amygdala to become bored of what you're fearful of. So you sit there, you imagine the needle until you're bored of it. Then watch a video on YouTube of someone getting a needle until you're bored of it. Or even before that, look at a picture of a needle until you're bored of it. Then watch a video of someone getting a needle until you're bored of it. Get an actual needle and then look at it, touch it, feel it until you're bored of it. Then go to the doctor's office and stand outside the office until you're bored of it. Then go inside the doctor's office and sit in the doctor's office, not having an appointment, just sit there until you're bored, if you can do that, until you're bored of it, right? You know what I mean? Gradual exposure until you get to the situation, and then by the time you're actually getting the needle, your anxiety will be there, but it will lessen greatly, right? That's what you want. You want your anxiety to lessen greatly. So you have to keep exposing yourself to situations over a long time. It could be 10 times before your anxiety lessens, but it will lessen each time. The amygdala will keep making those associations to the environment. Oh, this situation won't kill me. It won't kill Brad. Oh, I get it. Keep going back over and over and over again. By the 9th time, oh, it's just the same situation. That's what the amygdala will be doing. It's the same. This is no threat. We've been here 10 times. And so that's why flooding, that's why systematic desensitization is important for those situations that are making you anxious. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, leave a comment. Make sure you follow along on the Anxiety Project podcast. That's on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, it's on there. And on the podcast, I talk about techniques, strategies, what you can do to strengthen the mind and get to that place in your life, a place of freedom, a place where you look in the mirror and see somebody you respect, you have great admiration of, right? Really, really powerful. And lastly, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video or it could be a podcast. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.